Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video for LEGO Fortnite, I'm going to be showing you how to make this log cabin with a little factory section underneath. We've also got loads of space for food, all these open plots of soil here. You can plant whatever seed you find when you're out on your adventure and have an influx of food. So this section here is the factory area, so you can put all of your crafting tables, your lumber mills, the stone breakers, all of this kind of thing down here. And then if we go up to the second floor, this is like the living arrangements. So we've got the log cabin, beautiful. And then I've put a campfire and some sofas. If you've got this built inside your village, then your villagers will actually use those sofas. And then inside, this is like your little home area, a little lounge, a wardrobe, bedroom. And then I've done this chest section here so you can put some items inside the house that are more valuable. And then we've got this little bathroom. Look at that sunset view, by the way. Beautiful. Right, just to let you know, if you decide to make this build within your village, so when you've literally first started, you can actually upgrade it all the way to level 7, I believe. So it's level 2. And then straight into level 3. You can see what materials you need for each one if you want to pause it and double check. This is obviously if we're in the grasslands as well. Up to level 5. Level 6. You can see the bar keeps filling up. And then there's level 7. And yeah, halfway in level 7 almost. Nearly at level 8. This is what you would need to get the next level. Okay, so for today's build, you are going to need 163 wood, 33 granite, 33 planks. You're going to need also a bunch of fertilizer, 46 of those, and then 92 soil. The fertilizer is going to be the hardest stuff to get. I would recommend finding a bunch of chickens and just following them around for a few days. The rest you should be able to find as soon as you load in. So I've started a new save here, just to show you what it would look like if you were to make this as soon as you came in game. The area you find normally is grasslands that you spawn. As you can see, there's trees everywhere, there's rocks everywhere. And then when you're running around, you will see things on the floor that you can pick up. So there's granite there, there's wood there. What I would recommend is literally as soon as you start, just pick them up as much as you can and start working towards the list of items and the amount that you need in order to get the build. Okay, so because I am in sandbox mode, I am going to go ahead and just start building. I won't need to collect the materials. So I'm going to start off now with using a 16 by 16 foundation piece, and I'm using granite here. And I'm going to do 4 by 3, so 3 in one row and then 4 along. The snap method will help in your favor to make sure that this piece remains completely level. So I would say it's very important. Make sure you see these green circles coming up so you know you're snapping onto the right location. Next up, I'm going to put some wooden flooring down, again 16 by 16, and I'm going to do the exact same thing, but just on top of the granite foundations. Then we're going to head in and find the beam pillar. Make sure you snap directly on the corners as well. You can see here they're touching the edge. You need to make sure that they're facing inwards. So you can see that the corners are mapping out the bottom centerpiece. Little nudge, there we go. See, just like this. Okay, so now we're just going to work out where the stairs is going to go. And we're going to use the snap method to make sure that this remains level. So I'm going to be using the 8 by 8 square pieces. And we're just going to go along. I do actually extend this later on, so go along by 4 instead of 3 like I've done here. And then we're going to go in and we're going to find the smaller 8x8 wooden flooring pieces to go on top, just so that it all matches and it's all symmetrical. Not sure about you guys, but I have in-game OCD and I can blame my Minecraft days for that. So I've noticed here that I haven't actually made it wide enough for this next pillar. So we're going to go back in and we're going to get another foundation piece to put alongside. And we're going to use the 4x16. So we're going to do 2 of these. And then that's when I notice I haven't done the extra piece at the end. So like I said, you'll want to do 4 for the 8x8. And you're just going to pop that in here. And then once you've done that, go back to the floor again. Find the pieces that relate to the sizing you've put down. You can only get 8x4s on the wooden section, so that's what I'm doing here to cover the full piece. And there you have it. This is your section for the stairs. Pop the pillar on the corner, make sure it all lines up. And that is the section where you will have your stairs. Okay, so now we're going to go in and do the second floor. If you are in survival, you're going to want to put a stairs down to one of these pillars just so you can get up and you can destroy that after. But we're going to snap this over. Okay, so I've got this on the snap mechanism and you can see how I've lined this up that it is flush on that pillar. Then again, the snapping method, you want to snap all the way along doing the 4x3 like so. And it will all line up perfectly. Not a single block will be out of place. And you're just following the map of the floor. Then you want to go into your flooring section, and we're not going to use an 8x8 like you can see that I've picked up here. I actually realised you need a 12x12 because I extended the foundation over by 4. So you can find that here, and then you're going to want to snap that on and just shift it over if you need to. And then that is all aligned beautifully. Then you want to go in and get your stairs. I personally would recommend the rustic stairs 01. You want to snap this on so it goes downwards, and you can see that I've got 2 blocks either side. Just make sure it's placed right in the middle, nice and even. And then I decided that there isn't actually enough walk space here, so I'm going to extend this a little bit more with more foundations. I'm going to grab an 8x8, plonk that there, and then I'm going to grab 2 4x4s just to make the space up instead of using a 16 piece, and I think that looks really nice. Again, go into the flooring and find the relative sized flooring that will match up to the rest. And there we have it. The first section is complete. This is where you will house all of your machinery because you cannot use them in the rain, so they need to be covered, which is the reason for this design. I think it looks great. So what I'm actually going to do here is you can see that there is a block missing underneath the stairs. I'm just going to grab a thin piece and put that underneath so that the stairs is at the right height. I did actually misplace this, so I'm going to go ahead and destroy it because it doesn't look right there. Make sure not to hit the stairs like I do. Then we're going to get that same piece again. We're going to put it back, the 8x2, and put it just in front. And now it looks like it has an extra step on the stairs and not a gap, or at least it looks like it's supposed to be there. Then we're going to go on the railings and we're going to snap that on to make sure it does lock in the correct place on the stairs. Make sure you see those green little circles. And there we have it. That is all lined up perfectly. And now we're ready to work on the next part. And what we're going to do is add fencing all around to encase this build to make it a little less dangerous. This section I decided I was actually going to leave open as like a second entranceway. So I'm going to use 12x2s and make kind of like a step section at the back. I do rotate this to kind of make like a pattern, as you can see that I'm doing here, to make the steps look somewhat different so they aren't just all the same way. So we've got a section here that you can now enter by, and I'm going to go around to the front and do exactly what I just did here. There we go, and it's as easy as that. Now we're going to move on to the fencing for the bottom half. What I'm going to do is grab the 16 by 1s and go to every single pillar, line them up and put them on each edge. You can see that I'm doing here. I'm going to do this all the way around. Just snap these on. If it's slightly out, just use the nudging mechanism. There we go. I'm going to go and put one over here as well, actually. Okay, now this is the hard part, is actually calculating the space that you've got. So I can see here that I've got a little edge at the end, so I want it to be symmetrical. And I'm going to see if this 8 by 8 piece will fit within the spaces. So I've noticed here this can actually fit 2 6 by 6. And then we can do the same on the symmetrical side. And then at the back, because I know 2 6s fit in the middle, I'm going to use 2 8s on the edge. And then put those 2 6 pieces in the middle. Just like that. Beautiful. Now it goes all the way around and it fits absolutely flush. So I'm going to go and do the edge over here. I know at the back that we use 2 8s and then 2 6s. So I'm going to use a small 6 to half the size. And then we have this edge as well that I need to figure out. So I'm thinking the big 16 will fit, but I want it to look symmetrical. So I'll put it on the edge there. And then we'll get the little 6 and we'll put that, look at that, like a glove in the middle. Beautiful, look at that. The first piece is done. Okay, now let's crack on to upstairs. So we're going to do the same method as before. However, we do have to work on corners here. So I'm going to do the little corners here. We're going to fit it on and curve everything to make sure it lines up. We've got a few corners to work with. So we've got one there, one that bends, and we're going to do the same as underneath with the 16 by 6, sorry. And now I'm going to leave a 2 by 2 gap because I know that that is the size of the corner, which I'm going to be putting in that gap there that you see. So we're just going to pretend that there was a pillar there, if that makes sense. Now here we've got the space for an 8, and we want to make this square and symmetrical as possible. So we're just going to do that at the side and then at the top. And as you can see, I've left that 2 by 2 gap, which is going to be for this corner piece here to fit flush. Look at that. Beautiful. And then we're going to put another one here. Okay, now let's figure out this middle bit. So same as the bottom, I know that I used 2 6s. I'm thinking this section may actually use 2 8 because the space is a little bit larger. So I'm just figuring it out in my head. Nope, 3 6s. Oh God, I'm good. Okay, so I was debating putting more fencing down. However, I knew that I needed to make the log cabin. So I would recommend not putting any more fences down until you have built the cabin upstairs. So we've gone back down now, and I'm actually putting down the decorative side of things. You don't actually have to do this part. You do not need to put flooring underneath the soil plots. I have just done it to kind of hide the foundation and raise the soil pots up so it kind of looks more decorative. You can just put the soil pots straight on the floor. Okay, you don't have to do this part. It is your choice. I've done it just to, like I said, raise them up a little bit, and it also looks nicer. And very decorative when it comes to things like this. So if you're anything like me and you like things to match up, be in line or be symmetrical, I would recommend watching ahead first as I place these things, because I do make a few mistakes whilst I'm getting it perfect. As you can see here, I've missed out the end bar underneath and then the decorative piece that you do see. So I'm just going to place those down. So that's the hidden piece, and then that's the piece that's visible, sorry. So if you do want to get it the exact same as me, watch ahead first when I've finished a row and then go in yourself and you know the spacing for what it will look like. So now I'm going to go ahead and do this all the way around. And there we go. Now just adding some finishing touches and making it look all smart with like a border trim. This just tidies up the whole section. And I'm going to go all the way around, mostly using the 16 by 2s, but I will change it and I will use smaller pieces to accommodate the size that I have to work with. Like you can see here, I need a smaller section. We're going to use an 8 by 2 and then a 6 by 2 to fit in this space. Perfect. Now you can see that these trims look really, really smart. And then because I know that the symmetrical side, I used a 6 and an 8 and then 16s, we're going to do the same here. And it should just fit perfectly, if I've done it right. There we go. And then we're just going to do the one at the front. Okay, and now we are moving on to the log cabin. This bit can be quite difficult. I would recommend watching all the way through or pausing as you go. So these pillars need to be on the very single edge. You can see here I'm using the snap-on method to nudge it over. It needs to be hanging off the edge, if that makes sense. So you can see it's over the edge of where we're building. I haven't used a 2 by 2 space. I've used a 1 block space, like that. So these won't get knocked down or removed. They are spot on. So make sure yours are exactly the same in order to carry on with this build. For the purpose of the build too, you can customize this. I'm going to just use the normal 16 by 12 walls to make the shape. And then the corners, using the snap-on method to keep the height. You will be able to change all of these to windows and doors after. It's just a lot easier to build this way if you don't confuse yourself and you just use the plain walls like I'm doing here. It's completely up to you. So I'm just organizing here where I want things to be. Now I'm going to use a 4 by 2. And I'm just panning out how much space I have. So I can see here that I literally have a single one side and a 2 the other in terms of space. So also for this, you cannot just snap onto the flooring. You have to snap onto the side of the actual build for it to line up so that it's on that single piece at the back. Like I'm seeing here with the green dot. That's how you snap on. There we go. So that's the back wall all done. It will change as you do this build where you want to put your windows and everything in, so you are just going to have to play with this. Up next is the roof. This is kind of a difficult part, so put a stairs up and grab both gables for either side, the left and the right, and make sure again you are snapping on. You want to do either end of the log cabin. And you'll see here that it lines up perfectly. Okay. And then you want to go up and you want to get the largest piece of the roof, which is the 16s, and pop those in. And you're nearly there. Okay. So next you want to do the section that comes out, which is quite tricky. So you're going to want to go down until you reach like the bended section. What's it called? It's not a hip. It's the, The valley, there we go. And you're going to want to snap this onto the roof. Ignore everything else and just snap onto the roof. And then you want to snap directly onto that. At the side, of course, not on top. There you go. And that's when it lines up. So that's where your corner is going to be. That's where the turn can be. So it does look a bit odd now. You're going to take out that 2-piece that you placed originally. And underneath you can see that you have 3 2x2s, okay? So you're going to want to go into your wall section and find the umber wall. And you want to do the 2 pillars that kind of stick like that. I'm leaving the 3rd piece because it's kind of like a detail section and it looks really nice. So your build should now start to look like this. Using the snap-on method. If it goes red and it's in the right position, it just means you're stood in the way. So now you can see here, I've just got a single piece missing, and we can fill that again with the snap-on method, just with a single block right there. Now, if you're someone like me and you don't like the fact that you can see these lumber wood and they don't match the log cabin, I will show you later that there is actually a pillar you can put there to hide that. But for now, what we're going to do is hide the fact that this has an extra section. So we're going to use a flooring piece and we're going to snap this section on to the right height just above the pillar. You'll be able to see if you look closely where the lines are going lengthwise. I don't know if you can see that there on the shot. And then we're going to do the same on the inside. Just make sure you are getting the right part. There we go. See how that lines up? Now this is for a reason. You're going to then go into your roofing section. Go all the way down to the bottom and you have the roof walls, okay? Then if you've done it correctly, this should slide in like a glove. Watch what this does. Look. Snap that in, look. Use the nudging technique. And there you go. It hides the fact that you have this whole section here. And then we're going to do the same over on this part. There we go. Very smart. So that's the inside almost done. We're now just going to finish off this roof. So you can see here it's 2, 4, 6. We need to find the 6th roof. And that slots in. And then at the back you just want to calculate the space that you've used. I'm going to use a 6 again because I knew that was there. I'm going to use a big piece because I've got the space for it, and then count. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8. So I know that an 8 is now going to fit in this space. There we go. It's looking good. You can see here it all lines up. There's no blocks out of place. This is the hard part now, okay? So you can customize this part to either have the same section as I did where I had the chests within the wall, or you can have a whole extra room. If you want the chests, you need to use the 6x2. You can't snap this on, you have to freehand this one down. So just make sure it lines up. And you want to do that either side. Then go in and find the corner pieces. And these you can snap on. And then you want the last wall, and that will just slot in like that. Then to the roof, you want to find the gables again, the left and right piece, and snap these on. Like so. And then you can see 2, 4, 6, you need the 6th piece to fill this area on the roof. And that will go either side. If you have extended and you've gone for a different option compared to the chests, then you just need to figure out what size roof will go there for whatever size wall you have used. Annoyingly, you can't get a T-shaped rustic ridge, so I am having to customize this top part. I'm using the largest piece along all the corners just to fill the space up. However, I do notice that it is slightly off. So you will see me figure this out surely. Just watch what I do before you place your roofs and then you'll understand what you need to do as well. So what I'm trying to figure out here is why I can't actually line them up, because I want there to be a 3x6 in the middle, but it's not working. So I've realized that the piece that I've put down here is too long. So I am going to remove that and put a shorter piece, as that would make more sense. And I figured that out by placing these, as that's what I want in the middle anyway. So there's too much of a gap there, as you can see from the roof. Let's put the middle pieces in first because that's a lot easier. We're going to rotate the shape as well, just so it kind of changes the theme, or the style I should say. So we'll just rotate these like this, and then we'll put those last teeth piece back on. And then yeah, you can see that there is a 2x4 gap and I don't like it. So we're going to change this part of the roof just so that it hides that gap. I'm going to use a smaller piece compared to the large one that I put on. And then there should be enough space, as you can see here, where it just connects up. Look at that. Now it looks like there's a little chimney. Okay, now this is the part where you get to customize. They're all plain walls at the moment, so if you just take one down at a time and you replace what you want there. So what I've decided here is where I want the door. So I'm just going to go in and find the same size piece as a door, which is the 16 piece right there. There we go. Now we have our entrance. I'm going to go in and I've decided, I need some windows. Where am I going to put them? First up, what I'm actually going to do is put the doorway down. So you can see here where that lumber pillar is, I'm going to place it right there so it lines up. There is a little gap, but that's fine. All you've got to do is go to the floor section, find the same strip you used to put on before, and that will just snap in. Look at that. Snap. Now you have an inside room and a whole section sorted. Right, so this one, I'm going to make a window. And we're going to go to our wall section, all the way down. And for this one, I'm going to use the open door window. It is a door, but it looks nice as a window. So I'm just going to make sure that that lines up. Beautiful. Gives it a bit of detail. So this piece I'm going to leave because I know my chests are going there. Now this section I don't like because you can see that there's two different pillars and it doesn't look like a log cabin. So this log pillar 02, you can just nudge in and hide, and it's given off that wooden effect. Just like that, look, and it hides it completely. It also gives the log cabin a bit of detail. So now we're going to go back in here and I want some windows. So I'm thinking opposite my chest would be nice to have some. I am going to move them over so it's symmetrical to where my chests will be there. So I've realised I need to add a single piece first. And you're going to use the snap-on method like so. And then I'm going to go back in and find my window that I want. I'm going to go for the double windows on this and snap that over. Now it's directly in front of my chests, which I like. And then I have a two-piece gap here. So back into the walls. And we're going to fill that gap. Like so. Now I want a window here as well. Don't forget, when you do knock these walls down, you do also get your materials back, so you aren't wasting any. There we go. So we've got a double window here for the bedroom, a large window, a chest section, a front door, and then, yeah. This is how I would put the chests in, just so you can see. To stack them, what you're going to want to do is make a shelf. You're going to use flooring for that. It has to be the same size as the chest, so it's 8 by 4. And you can't snap these on. You do have to freehand them, but you just nudge them about until they get into the right spot, like so, and then you can snap on the second piece, so it lines up. There you go, and then you can place chests on top, and then you can keep doing the same for however high you want them to go. Now that the inside is done, we're going to finish the fencing outside. I'm going to put this 16 piece back down. And then I'm going to figure out the sizing between the house and the cabin. I think I'm going to use 2 6s here. Nope. Actually, let's change that. So let's go for the 8s. Again, doesn't work, so I think I actually need to change it into a bunch of 6s. If we put this right at the end over 1, we're going to leave a small gap so it doesn't connect to the house. And then I'm going to get rid of this 8 and we'll put 2 more 6s. There we go, that calculates better. Great. Now we're going to go onto the other side and finish that. I'm going to put the 6 down first. Just looking to see what I've done over there. We're going to put it 1 away from the house and then snap on. So I know that I've got an extra space here, so I can put a 16 down and then an 8 should fit in that gap. God, you've got to be so good at maths when you play Lego. There we go. And here we are. Finished, complete. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Have you built this? Is there anything you would recommend? And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.